are going in again with my favorite tumbler. I promise y'all I'm going to switch it up. But we are going to go in with a tumbler from the Tipsy Magnolia using a 24 plump. We are going to sand it, clean it up with alcohol, and then we're going to score a line that I'm showing you here. Scoring the line just helps you place the tape straight. So this is super, super helpful. You don't have to do the vinyl lines and all that stuff. Like, this just helps keeping the tape that you're adding straight, and that keeps that line straight going after that. So I did this 3 times. I taped this cup, I taped it 3 times. The only thing that stayed all 3 times that I did this was the V-stripe. Everything else I took off because you can kind of see that there's gaps in the tape in that previous clip. But what I did is I wanted to have multiple lines on there and different types of glitter. So what I did is I went back, and I'll have it listed in the description box of what sizes of the tapes that I use. I got a pack of it from Amazon. So I went and I did this 3 times. Math is not my forte, so I've seen a lot of people in the past use math to determine how they're going to measure out the lines. That was not gonna work for me. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. I just went in, did it. I'm a visual person. I need to see how it's gonna look. And that's how I got my lines. Now also, you'll see in the next clip, but we're going to be using Ness. We are going to be using Spirited, and then Golightly. Golightly is more of a matte, so I would recommend you guys mixing like a holographic white or something in there to give it more sparkle if you wanted that look. Now my thing is I was planning on going matte with this tumbler. I decided against it. I might still change that. I don't know. I'll do a little video on it if I change it and show you guys what it looks like. We're going to go in with a little bit of Mod Podge. It is not Mod Podge, it is Mod Podge. I get corrected on that all the time because I used to say it wrong. But we are going to mix that with a little bit of red paint. This is going to help with tinting your glue, because initially you guys saw the spray paint bottles in the background. I was going to use spray paint to spray this, but it was just going to be too much, and it was going to cause some difficulty in trying to spray paint the individual lines. So when you are working on a project like this, it is always good to use Mod Podge. It is your friend. It does dry quickly, so you'll see that I'm adding not several coats, but I'm kind of going over it pretty heavy, immediately adding the glitter onto it as I'm doing each stripe because it dries quickly. So working time with this is really good. Don't glob it up on the tumbler because it is going to take a longer time to dry. I would let this sit for a couple of hours, which I did after I did the Golightly glitter, which is that teal or that seafoam blue color. So yeah, we are going to add Spirited all throughout the cup, and then we're going to go in and start removing all of the tape after we've sanded down any excess. Rolling it definitely helps flatten that chunky glitter, and I didn't do it from light to dark, which it kind of does look that way, because I wanted to do chunky to fine. So this was the chunkiest glitter that I had, and then I went in with I think it was a hexagon cut. I can't remember. But I went in with like a smaller cut glitter. And then after that, my fine glitter, which is Nest, is that holographic silver. That was the last glitter I used. Now, I wasn't worried that it got on any of the other glitters that I used throughout this, just because it looks fine. You wouldn't really tell that it was on the other parts of the cup, but it turned out really cute. So we're just gonna go in and remove the additional stripes. You'll see in the front and in the back, the stripes are a lot thicker than the other ones. And that was because it made it even. Because if I would have just used one piece of glitter, I wouldn't have had even colors all the way around the cup. I also use regular painter's tape that is like the measurement is 0.090. I don't know why I remember that. I think I just used to have to use that measurement all the time because that's what my stripes used to be. But I didn't have that size tape this time. So I had to go in with the tape that I have from Amazon. I have a bunch of different sizes. And this was the closest I can get it to that 0.090 inches tape that I normally use. So as you can see, we are just going in with our glitters. We are going to pull back. Now, the best thing when you are trying to not peel your glitter off too, is you put the tape as close to the tumbler when you're pulling it back as possible, and it'll rip a seam right through it when you're using epoxy or Mod Podge, so it won't peel off any of that glitter that is maybe dry or not completely dry. So that will help with that. So hold it as close when you're peeling it back to the tumbler and then peel it off, and that will help. With Golightly, I did have to do a second coat because I could kind of see under it. I didn't really like what I saw under it, so it's personal preference. If you guys use a different color for creating this, that is fine. So it just really depends. This did take me a while. It was a lot of trial and error that was happening, which I think that's what I love the most about creating tumblers, is you get to see what works and what doesn't. Not just for the cup, but for you. You get to see what works for the cup, but you also get to see what works best for you. So if it's something that you don't like, or you don't, care for working with, I don't care for working with Mod Podge. I would prefer to use epoxy. However, with the detail in this cup with the stripes, I needed to use Mod Podge. So I know next time I go to create a tumbler what to do differently. So this is just where we're going in with Nest, and we are going to fill in the remaining silver parts or the stainless steel of the tumbler. And you guys still see that there's a piece of tape, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. Still on the cup, excuse me. Everybody says their allergy season is during the spring. Mine is normally during like the fall, when winter and all that stuff is like the weather outside for us in Florida is changing. So excuse me how I sound. But we are going to just fill up the rest of the cup with Nest. And I'm pretty sure that's not the full name. I'm not close to my glitter, so I can't tell you what it's actually called. Now, I did go in and I did epoxy the cup. There is still some stainless steel showing, and I did that for a reason, because what I'm going to be applying onto it next, I am going to be applying gold leafing or foils. I'm going to be adding leafing to the cup. All right, the leafing was not going to be as thick as the glitter, because some of these I added multiple layers. I wanted my cup to be as even as possible. So I just went ahead and I applied the epoxy to it, and that gave me an even playing field for everything. So once I go to add this leafing on, everything will be kind of even. In my mind, it makes sense. So I'm hoping that it will make sense to y'all. But that is my reasoning behind doing this. So what I'm doing is I'm just taping it off. I did go back a little where the glitter is, just so the line is as straight as possible, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the pinstriping onto that as well. So we are going to fully cover this. We are going to be using, I want to say it's not the tack it one, it's the foil one, but it's by Elaine. Y'all know who I'm talking about. The lady who makes the tack it glue. And I can't wait for y'all to see the next one, because that one's gonna be really cute. But the lady who makes the tack it glue, they also make Elaine's tack it. They also make a glue for foil. So I'm going to be going in with the foil glue, and then I'm going to do 2 coats of foil glue. All right. In between each coat, I am going to dry it with my heat gun. When I tell you it helps to do 2 coats, I don't water this down. I'm also not using a lot. This is like 2 or 3 squirts of it. When I used to water down my glue, especially for like tack it would work for me when I first started making tumblers, but for some reason now, when I go to mix my glue, I cannot get the ratio right. And it's not like a huge thing, but I just can't get the ratio right. So I go for the option of just using what's in the bottle. It cuts out that middleman of having to tack anything down, but you want to make sure you do 2 coats. At least I do 2 coats. You don't have to, but I use 2 coats. And then I go in and apply it. I let it sit for like a few minutes, and then I'll go in and start applying my foils. These foils or leafing I got from Amazon. I used to use it all the time, so I bought a big pack a couple years ago, and I've had these foils since probably like 2021, 2020 maybe, and I have not even been through the whole box. You'll see where I pull like my old peachy palette box out, because that's what I stored it in, because it came in like something else and it was like a plastic bag, and I didn't like that. I wanted something cardboard, so it didn't go everywhere. But I keep a bunch of them in my old peachy palette box to make it easier. Once you have let that sit for a little bit, you are going to peel off that tape, again holding the tape close to the tumbler and then peeling it away, just so you don't peel up any excess of the foils. If so, you'll have to go back and redo that part. Next, we're going to go in with Polycrylic. And I meant to tell you guys earlier, I did use Polycrylic when I sealed my glitter. I used 2-time quick coat spray paint to seal my glitters, but then I go in with Polycrylic to give it that extra reinforcement. And you're going to do that same thing with this gold foil. I've been keeping it a little warm because it's been getting chilly here, and we keep it pretty cold in the house throughout the day. So in my craft room, I kept it warm so the Polycrylic dried a lot quicker, so I was able to do my second coat. I am going to let you guys know what the measurements are for the lines. My lines change every time that I do them. I don't know why I haven't just made a template for them, so you guys will have the actual measurements of what they actually are. But you're gonna go around with the leopard print. This leopard print is from North 80 Vinyl. Love this leopard print. I was scrambling trying to find it because I'm like, I know I got like 2 or 3 of these, but I also have like 4 or 5 cases of vinyl that I've collected throughout the years. But I love this vinyl. I was looking for it, finally found it. You ever been looking for something and you have to like stop looking for it so it will turn up? That's how this vinyl was, y'all. There's so much vinyl here. So you're gonna go around the entire cup and you are going to outline it. This is the offset to the other vinyl that I'm going to be using. Yeah. So we're just going to go around the entirety of the cup. For some reason, I don't know what happened when I was editing this. I tried to go back and find it. I couldn't even find the clip. I know I recorded it. You know what? That's when my phone died. Okay, never mind. That's why I can't find it, because... Okay, so there's a clip where I'm adding the red stripes onto. It's basically the same thing because I'm overlapping the leopard with the red stripes. So y'all pretty much get the concept of that. So I don't know if it's in here. It might be in here. Who knows? We haven't even gotten that far, but I'm just talking about it just in case y'all don't see it and it's not here. That's why. Who knows? So yeah, we are just gonna go around, cut off any excess vinyl that we have. We're gonna scoop that up, pick it up with our X-Acto knife, and then we're gonna go in with our red vinyl, and then we're going to seal all of the vinyl with our polycrylic. If you have quick coat works amazing, but polycrylic is a cheaper alternative if you don't have quick coat available. So we are going to seal our epoxy. We're going to seal our Tumbler vinyl stripes. We're going to epoxy this probably, it's on its final turn now, but I want to say I did about 2 to 3 more coats to a facet from Counterculture DIY, and then one of their medium viscosity epoxy. And then you're going to, before you get to that final epoxy layer, you want to make sure you sand that top band. And I've already did the entirety of the cup, but this is basically what it looks like when it's done. I decided afterwards this is what I was going to add, but I hope